Guten Tag und welcome to another exciting episode of Dr. Von German's Living Room of Psychological Fun. If you remember from last time, Fasdf Gfaha began messing around with the space-time continuum, and now the entire world is consisted mainly of albino snakes. I'm sure he found some irony in that. However, in the ensuing chaos, I managed to secure an interview with one of my favorite psychologists ever, Dr. Elizabeth Loftus. Give her a... We don't have hands anymore, so let's flick our tongues in welcome to Dr. Elizabeth Loftus. Huzzah! Hello there, Dr. Von German. Hello there, Elizabeth. It has been so long since I saw you last. We've never met before in our lives. I know, but it sounds good for the camera, does it not? I suppose. Alright then, Elizabeth, why don't you tell us a little bit about what it is that made you so famous? Well, you see, I'm a psychologist. Well, that's obvious. And I studied memories. Memories? Like what I remember what I ate this morning? In a sense, I studied how the human mind changes its memories due to slight provocations. Implanted memories, if you will. Implanted memories? I thought they just used those on the movies. No, not really, actually. An implanted memory is when someone gives you a suggestion, plants something in your mind, and your mind, rather than remembering what actually happens, creates new memories from which you draw false information. Really? Like, what if I changed the circumstances about when we first met? You're trying to implant memories in me, Doctor, and you're doing it rather shoddily. It would be more like if I told you what you had for breakfast this morning. I remember perfectly what I had for breakfast this morning. I had eggs, and mice, and a little dab of custard in my porridge. That's not very healthy, but all that aside, what if I kept asking you how good your toast was this morning? My toast? I didn't have any toast. Well, we're missing a few slices of bread and your toaster's been used recently. Oh! Yes, now I remember. The toast I had this morning. It had a little dab of marmalade on it and it was absolutely delicious. You see, I've altered your memories. Very slightly, but I did it nonetheless. Really? That's fascinating. And you can do this to just anyone? No, actually, it only works about 13 to 15% of the time. Oh. But when it does, the results are fascinating. We've done simple things, like convince people that they saw a picture of Minnie Mouse rather than Mickey Mouse, to large things, like convincing people who witnessed a traffic accident that police officers had arrived on the scene, when they really didn't. Fascinating. And what is some of the practical use of such research? Well, it's been my lifelong crusade to aid people who have been falsely accused and convicted of crimes. Falsely accused and convicted? What do memories have to do with this? Well, most of what we do in the legal system involves eyewitness testimony, a person seeing a crime and testifying that they know who did it. Clearly. Yes, and this has led to dozens of people being put away when they really don't deserve it. For example, a witness may be goaded by a police officer to favor a known felon over who really did it. The witness is not lying, per se, but they don't remember exactly what happened. Their memories have been altered. I see. And you are debunking eyewitness testimony? Yes, it's earned me quite a few enemies. I don't go anywhere without a few bodyguards. You can see them. They're just out there, out of the shot. Oh yes, they are very threatening. I will make sure not to throw rocks at you. Well, it goes beyond that. Some eyewitnesses have called me late at night saying that they remember vividly horrible things happening to them, and they condemn me for saying that they might not have happened just the way they remember it. It makes me feel awful, it really does. You poor woman. And what got you into this memory study? Well, I suppose it's when something like this happened to me. Something like this happened to you? Yes, it was actually after I began my study. You see, when I was a child, my mother died in a tragic accident. Oh, you have my condolences. Yes, and years later, my uncle approached me at a family reunion and said that I had found her body. Did you? No, I hadn't. But you see, at the time, I could recall vivid details, all sorts of horrible things that I'd seen. Later, he remembered that it was actually my aunt who had found the body, not me. I'd had a memory implanted in my own head. Fascinating. Well, this is really all the time we have, yes, of course, because I have to start working on getting the space-time continuum back to normal. I thank you very much for your time, Doctor. It was a pleasure being on the show, Dr. Von German. And I will see you all next time on Dr. Von German's Living Room of Psychological Fun. Hopefully next time I will have limbs.
That Von German's a pathetic hack. His time machine doesn't even go back in time with him. So now I'm stuck here in the past. I wonder what's in this door. Oh my god, that's... I don't... Ah!